Hi, Caleb from Brownhouse here, and in today's video we're going to be installing the TWS 365 from Tyrant CNC. So what this is a modular pistol chassis system for your Sig P365. So this is the 365 we tricked out with all the Radian stuff on it, so we do have a Radian Ramjet, but because of the way this system is set up, we're actually going to be able to keep that on there, which is super convenient. So let's just go ahead and unbox it, and I'll kind of show you what we're working with here. So you have 3 screws there. We'll get to that later on. And then you have the main portion of it. And then the front shield that wants to come out. There we go. And then the pistol brace. A spring-loaded pistol brace at that. So we'll just take the box and we will place that neatly over there. Alright, and let's take a closer look here. So the chassis itself is aluminum, but the grip panels that are on here, like this forward grip and the one in the rear, are actually polymer. So it's super lightweight, but just really rigid. I mean, there's not a lot of movement going on there. And it does have, of course, like the main pistol grip area, magazine locks right in. And then you're able to hold a spare magazine right there up front. So 2 magazines itself are held in the chassis, one that's actually feeding the firearm, and then an extra that you can just throw right in. And we'll get to that more too once we actually have it set up. I'm just excited to do this, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump right into the install, and then we'll go over some more features after that. So we have our Sig P365. Of course, we want to make sure it is in fact unloaded. Alright, and with the magazine removed, we'll just go through our standard field strip here. We'll pull the slide off, and the slide's going to go on the new one just like this. So we're going to set that aside, and we just need to get this fire control group out of this frame. And all we need to do is knock out that pin in the back. So the pin in the back has a retainer in it, and that retainer is located on the right hand side. So if you push it out from right to left, it'll be a little bit easier. And yeah, there we go. We'll just push that out, and then lift up in the rear, and then pull right out, and then now we can set this aside. And that retainer I was talking about is actually this C-clip right here that goes around the outside, and then you can kind of see it going through the inside there. Just make sure that doesn't fall off. And we will put the new one in. So you're going to go in nose first and just kind of hook it in to the chassis here and push down. Now it is going to go in pretty tight. It's made that way. It's made specifically to be a little bit too tight, not too tight, but tighter, especially a lot tighter than your standard frame. And that's just to increase accuracy and reliability. So it's a nice snug fit. And just look through the hole there. You can see whenever it's lined up. Insert the pin from left to right. I mean, you can do it the other way. It's just easier this way. And I'm just going to grab a big punch for leverage and push it in. And I'm actually going to tap it because it does not want to go. There we go. And I'm going to push it until I kind of feel it snap into place into that retainer. There it is. Okay. Now, we can go ahead and take the slide and making sure that the takedown lever is down. If yours rotated upwards and you can't get it to go back down, it's because of your slide catch. Just lift that up and then you can rotate it down again. Alright, and then locks in place, and there you go. So this, you can use it without the front shield, that's why there's a full-length pick rail there. But especially since we're using a compensator and we have a shorter barrel, you can see where my thumb falls, so I'm definitely going to put the shield on this one. Alright, so to install that, that's where our screws come in. And we also have a little bit of thread locker that it comes with. Alright, so there's 2 screw holes in the bottom, but there's 3 screws, and that's just because they include an extra. You'll only use 2 of them. Alright. And I'm just going to cut this open. Just like so. And I'm going to put a little bit on the table. Alright, so I'm going to take this shield here and just line it up onto the rails. And it'll slide all the way on just like that. Now I can put one of my screws in the Loctite or thread locker. Same thing with the other one. And tighten it down. And these thread all the way into the actual front of the chassis itself. And tighten them up. And if you want to use a torque wrench, which we might as well, we can set this. It doesn't need much, so you can actually just set this to 8 inch-pounds. And let's find the appropriate driver size here. Alright. There you go. So 8 inch-pounds is all you need. Use the thread locker. And now we can install the brace. So I'm going to loosen this. I'm actually going to take these screws all the way out because I'm going to put thread locker on those as well. Alright, and your opposite end will just kind of fall out there, but it keys right back in place. Alright, so we'll put that on. We get a little bit more of this stuff here. That should be all we need. I'll place that neatly over there. And torque it down. Alright, great. And that's all there is to it as far as like the components there. And that's, yeah, that's way more comfortable for like getting an actual grip on it there. And it even has like this, I don't know, I guess you can call that a gas pedal for you to rest your thumb on right there. So nice and easy. And also, since we have that rail on the bottom, we may as well put a light on it. And this one right here, we have the Surefire XR2. So let's go ahead and just throw this right on there. Perfect. I'm going to tighten that down a bit. Just snug. I'm actually going to push it forward a little bit. As forward as it'll go anyway. Alright. Alright, and now there wasn't much room to grab it without that front mag in, since I put the light on it. But with that mag in, there's plenty of room, which is perfect. And then once you use that mag, I mean you drop this mag. Or actually, let me just go through the full process here. Alright, so you run out of ammo, right? Drop that mag, take this one, throw it in there, and then you can keep going. There's still enough room to keep a good purchase on it, so it's not too bad. Alright, let me see if yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's perfect. And then also you have other features like a single point sling adapter right there. So you have a QD stud right there. You have another QD right there. And the brace itself, as I mentioned before, is spring loaded. And to get that to work, all you do is hit the lever down here. Then you can just fold the brace. And when you deploy it, all you got to do is hit the button and the brace comes out. And you can use your support hand like I just did, or like some people who are better at it than me can actually come in with their main hand and just hit it as they, yeah, like that, and then grab it. I don't know, I like using my support hand better, but if you have bigger hands, then you'll probably like doing it that way, I don't know. But that's all there is to it as far as the brace goes. A nice concept for like a, I don't know, truck gun, something like that. This would be great in that. Truck gun, backpack gun, you know, for hiking, whatever. And you can hold quite a bit of ammo. These are just the basic magazines, and these are 17 round magazines. And yes, you can definitely get extended magazines for this. So you can have a crazy magazine capacity in this short little package, which is pretty cool. And this shroud, of course, is open at the top, so it works with all your compensators and stuff. And if you're shooting suppressed, if your suppressor's a little wider than this shroud, you can just take the shroud off. That's why you can direct mount the light to the actual chassis itself, and the shroud is optional. There are some suppressors that will fit underneath here, but most of them won't, so just pull the shroud off if you're shooting suppressed. And yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to it. A really cool, well thought out design from Tyrant CNC, and that was the full installation of it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because it really helps us out, especially with the YouTube algorithm and all the inner workings of that and whatnot. And as always, if you need help with anything for any reason ever, feel free to give us a call on the tech line. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.